A lot of pressure.
It's pressure, having pressure, a big pressure.
Pressure, more pressure, a lot of pressure, more pressure.
July 1st, 2026, Levi Stadium, Santa Clara, California. 80,000 Americans. Red, white, and blue everywhere. And Christian Pulisic, the best player this country has ever produced, standing on the ball, hands on his knees, chest heaving. The crowd is screaming. They're not cheering, they're demanding. And that's the difference nobody is talking about. Pressure is a privilege. That's what Pulisic said. But Brazil said the same thing in 2014, and Germany put 7 goals past them. We need to talk about what's really happening inside this team's head. Because the 2026 World Cup isn't just a soccer tournament for the United States. It's a referendum, a reckoning, a moment that 330 million people have been waiting their entire lives for. And that, right there, is the most dangerous thing in sports. If you clicked on this because you're worried, you're right to be worried. Because here's what the highlight reels and the post-match press conferences are not going to tell you. The USMNT beat Paraguay 4-1, beat Australia 2-0, topped their group. The crowds were incredible. The energy was electric. But then something happened in that final group game against Turkey. A match that meant nothing in terms of qualification. A match Pochettino said didn't matter. They lost 3-2, conceding a goal in the dying minutes. On home soil, in front of their own fans. Now the knockout rounds have arrived. Bosnia and Herzegovina wait in San Francisco on July 1st. And here's the question nobody on TV wants to ask. What happens to this team when the pressure is real? The crowd isn't celebrating, it's expecting. And one mistake isn't just a bad night, it's a national tragedy. That question has destroyed bigger teams than this one. Stay with me, because the history is brutal. Let's go back. Not far, just 12 years. 2014, Brazil, the greatest soccer nation on earth, hosting a World Cup on home soil for the first time in 64 years. The build-up was deafening. Neymar was the chosen one. The yellow jersey was a symbol of national identity, pride, survival. And in the semi-finals, in front of their own people, Brazil lost to Germany 7-1. 7-1. Not because they weren't talented, not because they didn't prepare, but because the weight of an entire country's expectations collapsed on 11 men who had nowhere to hide. Sports psychologists have a name for this. It's called choking under explicit monitoring. The more conscious a player becomes of performing, the more external eyes, the more national stakes, the more their automatic, trained motor skills begin to break down. They start thinking about kicking the ball. And when elite athletes think, they stop flowing. South Africa 2010, Qatar 2022, both host nations eliminated in the group stage. The pattern isn't a coincidence. It's psychology, it's human, and it's coming for the USMNT. Now let's be precise about why this team, specifically, is at risk. Number one, the coach came late. Mauricio Pochettino was hired with barely half a cycle to prepare. He's a brilliant manager, nobody questions that. But building psychological resilience in a national team takes years. The identity work, the pressure testing, the creating of systems that hold when the noise becomes unbearable. That's not something you install in 18 months. Number two, the word pressure appeared 16 times in a single USMNT press conference.
A lot of pressure.
It's pressure, having pressure, a big pressure.
Pressure, more pressure, a lot of pressure, more pressure.
16 times in one press conference. That's not mental fortitude, that's fixation. When a team is that consumed with talking about pressure, it tells you how deep the anxiety runs beneath the surface. Number three, this squad has never won a knockout match at a World Cup since 2002, 24 years ago. The 2010 round of 16, gone. The 2014 round of 16, gone. The 2022 round of 16, gone. History doesn't just sit in the record books. It lives in the muscle memory of how a team responds when the moment gets uncomfortably large. And number four, And this is the one nobody wants to say out loud. Christian Pulisic carries the weight of this entire program. One player, 32 goals in 84 appearances for a squad that needs him to produce a legendary moment on home soil. When one man is the vessel for a nation's World Cup dream, that's not an asset. In a knockout game, under a hostile crowd expectation, that's a psychological pressure point the opposition will target before the first whistle even blows. Here's where it gets dangerous. The USMNT faces Bosnia and Herzegovina on July 1st in Santa Clara. On paper, it's the most manageable knockout draw they could have asked for. Bosnia finished third in their group. Average age of the squad, 25. They're not Bayern Munich. They're not France. And that, ironically, might be exactly the trap. Because here's the psychological math. When the world expects you to win comfortably, every minute that passes without a goal feels like failure. Every half chance Bosnia creates feels like an emergency. The crowd, which was an asset when the US was the underdog, transforms into something different. It becomes a jury. The same 80,000 fans who were with this team in the group stage start to murmur, then fidget, then groan, and a team that was flying on adrenaline in a 4-1 win suddenly feels the silence between roars like a physical weight on their chests. Pochettino himself has said it directly. He's seen this before. He's been around elite sports his entire career. His message to his team, why not us? We need to dream. Those are not the words of a manager who feels completely settled. Those are the words of a man aware of a fire he's trying to keep from spreading. Let's say it plainly. Let's say the thing no American sports commentator will say on TV because the jerseys are too expensive and the narrative is too good. The USMNT could crash out of this World Cup on home soil. Not because they're a bad team. They're not. They're probably the best American squad ever assembled. Pulisic, McKennie, Musa, Reina, Adams, when healthy. Managed by a man who built Spurs into a Champions League finalist. But soccer tournaments at the knockout stage are not won by the best team. They're won by the team that holds together when the psychological screws are tightest. And here's the brutal reality check. The deeper the USMNT advances, the more catastrophic the psychological stakes become. If they get past Bosnia and face Egypt or Belgium in the round of 16, Kevin De Bruyne, Mohamed Salah, icons, finals experience. Cold, calculated tournament football. Against players like that, on the biggest stage they've ever faced. With 80,000 Americans who came to celebrate a semi-final run, not watch a quarter-final exit. The margin for error doesn't just shrink, it disappears. And one moment, one Pulisic miscontrol, one defensive error, one Tyler Adams injury, one Reina game where the magic just isn't there, becomes the image that defines this generation of American soccer. For better or for worse. Here's what I want you to understand before you switch off and watch the game. This isn't doom. This isn't negativity. This is the most important conversation that no one in the mainstream is having. Because the USMNT has a chance to do something genuinely historic. A semi-final would be seismic. A final would rewrite American sports culture forever. Soccer in this country would never be the same. But the path to that history runs directly through the darkest part of sports psychology. Through the place where talented teams collapse, not because they run out of quality, but because they run out of mental structure. Pochettino knows it. Pulisic knows it. 16 mentions of the word pressure in one press conference tells you they know it. The question, the only question that matters now, is whether knowing the danger is enough to survive it. Brazil knew. South Africa knew. Qatar knew. July 1st, Santa Clara. The real tournament starts now. Subscribe, because we're not going to pretend this is easy.